You can do it! Further adventures around the world! Hello all you wonderful people, and greetings from Luxembourg Gardens. Luxembourg Gardens is also where the Senate is of Paris. That big building by the lake, that's the Senate building, and this is the Senate's garden. Wow, they got like a zipline roller coaster here. Where was this when I was a kid? Where was this? Also in this park is a replica of the Statue of Liberty. I mean, it's not so surprising to see the Statue of Liberty here. I mean, it was a gift given to America, so hey, why not? It's nice to relax and just take a stroll through the park. They love to put their sculptures like everywhere here in Paris. And you know, we happen to be close to a very famous sculpture garden, something I think you may have heard of before. Just right down this way. And just so you know, when I say something's right down this way, in editing it's right down this way, but in reality it's like a 15 to 20 minute walk. Wow, check out this poster shop. This made me turn my head and look. Oh man, that's awesome. Check out this abandoned Chinese restaurant. After that short walk down the road, which really took an hour, I'm at the Musée Ronin, not to be confused with Rodin, the kaiju monster from Japanese movies, the guy who created The Thinker. Now, I thought that this garden was free, but it cost €4, and I'm low on euros right now, so I think I'm just going to enjoy The Thinker from right over here and think about my time in Europe. Think. And while you're at the Rodin Museum, you might be thinking, there's a lot of stuff from France. I'd like to know where that Napoleon guy is. Wait a minute, that building right there houses the remains of Napoleon. That's the Invalides, which sounds like, you know, I can't do it. I'm invalid! But that's where he's buried. I guess because now he can't do anything. Every major attraction you go to in Paris, you need to go through a security check. It's crazy. It ain't no joke, though. It ain't no joke. Yeah, it's amazing to think that Napoleon, who was banished from France twice, is actually inside this building. But the €11 paywall is just something I don't want to go to see a dead body. I just went to a graveyard that had hundreds of dead bodies. That cost me $0. But as I used to say in front of the haunted house that I worked at, you know, you ain't somebody until you're a body. And that's, I guess, you know, if he gets up and moves, then it's a really, really big deal. If he was walking around in there, I'd probably pay money to see that. But I assure you, he's just probably rested in there. Like magic, we've traveled to the Paris Opera House. In case you're familiar with the book, the play, the movie, or the opera, the Fantasy Opera, this is the opera that it actually takes place in. In the musical, I know that he hangs just right behind that statue and listens into Christine Daae as she's having a conversation. In the story, the Fantasy Opera lives underneath the Opera House, which there's a train station that goes right underneath the Opera House, so it's pretty awesome. If you look really carefully, you can see the busts of famous composers that are up there, like Rossini, who's buried in Paris, Beethoven, and even Mozart. And there's Sebastian Bach, not to be confused with the lead singer of Skid Row. When it comes to Universal Studios monster movies, I definitely think The Phantom of the Opera is my favorite monster movie. I mean, it's cool to be at the location that inspired Lon Chaney's classic face removal. He's got that face. It's like, Paris Opera House. Quite large. Now to see the thing here, you had to pay about $4. To see Napoleon's body, you pay $11. And that's a little steep. But to go into the Paris Opera House, I don't think I can afford it either. It's $11. Just kidding, I bought a ticket for this place because I totally want to see the Paris Opera House. Are you kidding me? If you're familiar with the story, this is where the Phantom of the Opera walks up with a skull mask. Actually, Napoleon III was the one that says, hey, I want a big opera house. So they made it. I could see how the architecture here would inspire someone to think that there was a person living underneath the opera house. Time to go see what all the hubbub is about this opera house, huh? Okay, let's see this opera house. Grand reveal. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Man, it's really cool to be in a real place that inspired so much work of fiction. Like, I know this place by the back of my hand just because I know the story of the Phantom of the Opera. Now, in the Phantom of the Opera, the Phantom demanded that a certain actress be put on stage. Her name was Christine Dyer, but you guys don't need to know that. And the producers were like, why are we getting threats from a ghost? Instead of listening to the Phantom's demand, who said a terrible tragedy would occur if they did not obey his commands. I said, nah, don't worry about it. Let's put the actress on stage. They did, and he cut off that right there. Chandelier went. Oh, you know what they say? That chandelier really brings down the house. So right next to the stage, that's where kings and queens would sit. But next to that, that's box 5, and that's the Phantom of the Opera's box. Now these doors go to opera boxes where you can view the show privately. But there's one of these boxes that is reserved for someone who may or may not be a phantom, who has a penchant for operas. And here it is, box 5. This is regarded as the best seat in the house, and it's reserved for the Phantom of the Opera. That's crazy. This is where he'd sit and watch the shows. If he really did exist. I wonder if they leave this empty just to, make sure the spirit of the Phantom is quelled. Everything in here is exquisite. I mean, it feels like you're in another world. A world of gold. Wow, they even have a little library in here of all the plays they've ever done with dioramas of how they did it. And as I descend down the grand staircase in the Paris Opera House, I say adieu to its wonderful architecture and an interesting history, and hope that a phantom, the angel of music, doesn't follow me home. It's arguable, however, to debate whether the inside or the outside is prettier. I think it's the inside. This is called the Sacred Heart. It's a wonderful place just to sit down and watch the world go by. If you buy the week transfer pass, the funicular down the hill is free.
Beware of pickpockets. Please look after your bag, mobile phone, and valuables at all times.
Oh, check it out, a McDonald's and a porn shop. With all these lights and all this debauchery, I think I'm getting close to the world's most famous adult entertainment place. There it is, Moulin Rouge. Why is this famous? Well, this is the origin of the can-can, which you can either can or you can't. Just walking around another cemetery at dusk. I think I'm beginning to form a habit. What's up, bird? Yeah, how you doing? Hi. Hi. As pretty as this grave looks like, I don't think these guys are good people. Everybody in this family ends up right here. A lot of names. So there's a graveyard here, but time declared that there'd be a road. So they just built a bridge over all the graves in the direction they needed the road to go. Well, just got off the train, and boy oh boy, night has come, and my final night out in Europe is coming to a short end. And I'm gonna miss this whole experience and miss the feeling of every morning there's something crazier to see, something crazier to do. But, you know, that's what traveling is for, to see a little bit more of the world. That's why I'm happy I live in Japan, because I get to see some really interesting stuff almost every single day. Now, as I always say, you can do it, I can do it, we can all do it. You guys stay groovy, have a wonderful night, and make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you could, because believe me, it really does help me out. Stay groovy, guys. Bye.